It is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. I'm Chris Fremont. Welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Tuesday crossword today, so it shouldn't be too brutal a puzzle. That's the idea of a Tuesday. It's a nice, relatively gentle themed puzzle, just like Monday. And this relatively gentle edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Bradley Pirtle, Alex, Laura Sexton, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. I did notice someone mention the departure of the inestimable Hood Monster, and I meant to mention that and thank the inestimable Hood Monster for his long patronage as a benefactor of the channel, and then completely slipped my mind. But thank you to, of course, the inestimable Hood Monster as well, who is no longer a benefactor, but was one for quite a long time, and for that I'm deeply appreciative. And yes, in any case, if you'd like to become a benefactor yourself and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or via a link in the description field underneath the video. And of course, by following that same link, you can become a patron at any level of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. Thank you for everybody who's done that, who's a patron of any sort for any length of time. You can also subscribe to the channel, of course. You can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server, which is also in a link in the description field. And with that, let's get on to the puzzle. This is, as noted, a Tuesday crossword. It was constructed by Ross Trudeau and Wina Liu. So Ross Trudeau is one of the, I think, deservedly most well-known crossword constructors working these days. He's very good at themes. So I think we'll probably have something fun in store for us today in that department. And his co-constructor, Wina Liu, whose name I recognize because I believe she's an assistant or associate puzzle editor at the New York Times, and herself has constructed around half a dozen crosswords, and is one of the rotating casts of constructors of the mini puzzles now that they're no longer being constructed solely by Joel Faliano, as I've noticed on the weekly mini puzzle solves over on the Patreon content. All right, so we'll see what Ross Trudeau and Wina Liu have in store for us today. And the puzzle was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Vaccine units in brief. CCs. I think you'll often, things injected will often be delineated in CCs. And letter before psi. I assume it's chi. To be honest with you, I don't know that I would have been able to bring that to mind without the cross, but with the cross, it made it a little bit easier. So sweetie could be hun, maybe, a term of endearment for a partner, perhaps, or a child, maybe. Greet with a grr, snarl at, as a dog might, or a person, I guess. Yield. Consist, this recipe will yield. Don't really think that's right. Lit blank, lit crit, literary criticism, perhaps. And fish or mushroom feature, gill, right. So fish breathe through gills, and then mushrooms have, many mushrooms have gills underneath the cap that I don't really know exactly what function it serves, but obviously it does something, or is there for a reason. The Food Network's Barefoot Contessa, that's Ina Garten, the chef. And she goes by the name the Barefoot Contessa. Okay, or she, that's the name of her cookbooks and things like that, I suppose. Crossword direction, abbreviation, across or down. So here's a cross, ironically, in a down clue. And a punctuation in a web address would be a .com, etc. Villainous is bad, straightforwardly enough. Shellackings are beatings. If you take a shellacking, you've really, for instance, you lost a game pretty decisively. So, cause for a food recall, maybe E. coli, right? So the food could be contaminated with E. coli. And a floral garland is a lei associated with Hawaii. And an international cricket powerhouse. India is an international cricket powerhouse. Never actually watched a game of cricket. I should do that someday. Civil rights leader who co-founded the NAACP. Ida B. Wells, I want to say. Yeah. Yes, I'm very confident that is correct. And so NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in the U.S. That's this is probably basically known by most people, but it is a U.S. specific organization, which is why I wanted to unpack it. Epitome of simplicity is ABC. It's as simple as ABC. And a wetland wader with a down-curved bill is an ibis. I always get ibis and ibex confused, but they're completely different. They're completely different animals. Nothing really in common at all, but an ibis is what I'm thinking of, I believe. And a celeb gossip show. Not sure. What about this? Potentially catastrophic. A dire situation maybe has the potential to be catastrophic. And a common wood for shoe trees. Oh, cedar wood. Yeah, you do see that. Is it because I think it's because it maybe absorbs sort of aromatic molecules effectively or something like that. But yes, I do think cedar wood is often used for shoe trees, the things you put in shoes to help them keep their shape. One hailed in the streets. A cabbie, driver of a taxi cab. And 20 questions category, I'm not sure. Chew out. Berate, you could berate somebody, chew them out. And a celeb, oh, I guess it's e-news, entertainment news. This has come up before, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so would it be on the channel E, I think? Okay. Or the entertainment channel, or whatever it's called. So blend is, I'm not sure, and rodential, say, rat-like. A rat is rodential, like a rodent, or is a rodent in that case. I mean, a rat is a rodent. Obviously, something that is rat-like would be rodential. Okay, oh, I see. 20 questions category. Right, animal, because, so the 20 questions game of what is someone has a concept in mind, and then you ask them 20 questions about it, and I suppose one of the things you'd ask is it an animal? All right, blend, an amalgam of several compounds or something like that, a blend of those things, a mixture. USO audience, so this is referring to GIs, so military, members of the military stationed overseas who are being entertained by some sort of notable entertainer who has been provided by USO, which is an organization that supports people in the military. Okay, diminish is lessen, and an apt rhyme for cake is bake. Bake a cake. Clear plates, say, is to bus tables. And a bulb unit is a lumen. So I don't really know how a lumen is sort of calculated exactly, but I do know that it's a unit of light measurement in some way. Calculator is the wrong word. I don't really know how it's sort of assessed. Okay, pool divisions. Lanes or something, maybe? And portrayer of the nurse Marta Cabrera in Knives Out. I have seen Knives Out, and I saw its essentially sequel, Glass Onion. I thought Knives Out was better, but Glass Onion was still fun. So who is this? Is it Ana de Armas? There we go. I think that's right. Let's check some crosses to be sure. An eye layer, the uvea is a layer of the eye, right? Is that right? What sheepdogs do? They herd. They herd sheep specifically, hence the name. And obviously, right, okay, well, duh, that's obvious. And a mathematician regarded as the first computer programmer, Ada Lovelace, is that person. So I'm just trying to think, what is the theme? I mean, these are all names of women. Ina Garten, Ida B. Wells, Ada Lovelace, Ana de Armas. Oh, there are a bunch of DAs going on here, but not here. or something. I mean, there's sort of something that looks like it's linking these names. They all feel like there's something linguistically similar, but I can't quite pin it down. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, sorry. Anyway, yield is concede. I concede the match. I yield. And custom is a way of doing things. A custom. So that's our custom. That's our way, you might say. And here we have, but nevertheless is yet. But nevertheless, I still don't understand the theme. We're not in Kansas anymore, goes the famous line from The Wizard of Oz. And, oh, shellackings are beatdowns. There we go. There we go. We took a real shellacking. It was a real beatdown. Okay. This matters to me how? And, you might ask? Dissolute man from the French. A roux? That's on the tough side for a Tuesday, I would say. Dissolute man from the French. I do think that's the answer, but yeah, I wouldn't blame you for not immediately throwing that one in. 12. 12. What is that? Oh, noon, right. 12 o'clock, sorry. Took a little while, didn't it? Take up a new residence is move, to move house. And pool divisions, this looks like lane something, doesn't it? What about this? Hardest to pin down, say, Eliast, I guess? That's a bit of a tough cross with roux as well, because Eliast is kind of a weird word. I mean, I don't know that I've ever in my life heard someone say he was the eeliest one of them all. He was the hardest to pin down. It's just not a word that's really part of ordinary speech. So that's tough, I would say, coming with a bit of a tougher French loan word. But yeah, let me know how you fared with that one. I'm curious. So pool divisions are lane something. And chest bumps. It's not zits, is it? I mean, you wouldn't have... Chest isn't really a place people talk about having zits very often. What about this? Occasion for egg hunting. Easter? Oh, Easters. Sorry, occasions pluralized. Right, that makes that work. And competitor of WAPO and WSJ. So that's the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal. Could be the publication of this very crossword, the New York Times. And when doubled, a popular logic puzzle. So Ken. I'm not sure what Ken is. I think it's a number puzzle. I've seen it referenced. It's one of those puzzles that shows up in newspapers along with Sudoku and crosswords and things like that. But so I think that's the answer. Used as a prayer mat. You could kneel on a prayer mat. And a bellicose humanoid of Middle Earth. It's a good way to clue an orc, a bellicose humanoid. It's fair enough. It's true. They do seem pretty bellicose, generally speaking, as portrayed in those films anyway. And organization with a cryptologic museum is the NSA. Or is it the NSC? It's probably the NSA, the NSC. So there's the National Security Agency and the National Security Council, but I don't think the National Security Council would have a museum. So NSA. And second oldest record label in the U.S. Is it RCA? Oh, the Vagina Monologues playwright. That's Eve Ensler. So, yes, it was RCA. Okay, so here we have another woman's name. And this doesn't have A's or D's in it, so my thinking was maybe just coincidental. There are quite a lot of vowels. Maybe that's the thing I'm noticing. That's not unusual for names. Do they all alternate vowels? No, they don't. Ada Lovelace does, but the rest don't. Oh, here's Ava DuVernay. See, this just feels the same as well. That was the clue. Director of the miniseries When They See Us. Right, okay, so it is Ava DuVernay. Does it start with an E or an A? OBGYN tests informally. OBGYN tests informally. Does this start? I'm using this just trying to see if this starts with an A or an E. Is it amniograms? Or is that what they are? Amnio something? Amnios? Amnio is, same derivation as amniotic fluid, I would imagine. Qatari leader, an emir, for leader of an emirate. And so I still just don't. What is going on with this? I'm so frustrated that I can't see what this is. And there are V's in this one. Ada, Anna, Ava, Ida. Oh, they all have 3-letter first names that consist of vowels surrounding a consonant? Is it a word ladder? We change one letter from Ina to Ida. Are they climbing the ladder? And then one letter changes from Ida to Ada. One letter then changes from Ada to Anna. One letter then changes from Anna to Ava. So we're going to need to change one letter from Ava to Girl in Progress Star with a line of cosmetics. Well, I'm glad I figured it out when I got here because I don't know what any of this is. So there will be a V because that is not the letter that changes. And so it'll be Eva probably. It'll be, the other thing it could be would be Ave, which I don't think is, I don't recognize as a name. I mean, it might be, but not as commonly. So Eva, because then one letter would change from Ava to Eva, and then one letter would change from Eva to Eve. There we go. All right. I got it before the very end of the puzzle anyway. So Girl in Progress Star, I'm not sure. But at least I got the theme bit. Short film. Not sure. Dizzy. Is this not a mirror? Surely it is. Dizzy. A reel. There we go. A reel. I'm reeling. I'm a reel. Okay. And crime show spinoff familiarly is, I was going to say CSI, but I guess that's probably not a spinoff, is it? I'm not sure. Terminus. End. The terminus of a train line, for instance. Railway could have a terminus. And id's counterpart, the id and the ego and the superego. Components of one's sort of self. And then sudden forward thrust is a lunge. And froze and fades are hairdos, hairstyles. Do's. Pool divisions, oh, I see, lane lines, just the lines that delineate the lanes. Okay, fair enough. Oops. Oh, yeah, that sounds super plausible, I bet. And then chest bumps are ribs, right? Okay, of course, they produce bumps in your chest because you can sort of feel them through there. Fair enough. Okay, so blank V, SVU, that's something. Crime show spinoff, so maybe it's CSI SVU or something like that. I bet it is that. And then Girl in Progress Star with a line of cosmetics. Yeah, okay. I'm just not going to know this until I get all the crosses. That's going to be tough with this. Why can't I see what short film is? That's annoying. Full of creepy vibes is an eerie situation is full of creepy vibes. And Japanese soy sauce is tamari. That is a Japanese soy sauce. And Universal, Paramount, or Columbia, each of those is a film studio. And of course, because we're only referring to Universal or Paramount or Columbia, we're only referring to a single studio, not 3 studios. Covers for a king or queen, duvets, so this just means king-sized or queen-sized bed, that's all. And some computing platforms are what? What are they? Not sure offhand. Beauty supply giant, I'm not sure about that either. Iconic flight pattern is a V, so geese iconically fly in a V, for instance. And bring to a new level is elevate something, bring it to a new level, literally or metaphorically, I suppose. Olympic stickers are épées, because you would stick someone with them. They're the fencing swords, the kind of fencing foils. So you might literally, you wouldn't actually pierce somebody with them, but you'd sort of, stick them with it in the way you would with a stick. Okay, assembled is made something. You made it, you assembled. Oh, Eva Mendes. Okay, well, good. I do recognize the name, at least. Oh, and a short film is a video. I don't know why that took me so long. That was strange. Sorry. I'm sure many of you were very frustrated about both of this cross from either direction, because they're both pretty gettable, I think, even though I didn't even though I'm not familiar with Girl in Progress, I certainly am aware of Eva Mendes in a broad sense and probably could have inferred that, but didn't. Make R-rated say is to steam up a film, maybe? And some computing platforms are desks. Oh, because you literally have a platform on which a computer could be placed. There we go. And alias initials are AKA, also known as. So you could be also known as your alias, your other name. And a beauty supply giant, I guess, is Alta. So I don't know it, but we got there with the crosses. And there we go. That was the puzzle. So I don't think there was a revealer here, actually. So it's a very subtle theme. I think you could easily solve this puzzle and not have any idea there was a theme. And to be honest with you, a few years ago, that probably would have been me. In fact, until I started doing this series every day, I didn't even know that the days were arranged by theme. I knew the days were arranged by difficulty, but I didn't know that every day from Sunday to Thursday, there is a theme in the crossword, and every Friday and Saturday are themeless. I didn't know that. I've been solving the crossword for years. I mean, not necessarily every single day, but pretty much every day. And I just never really noticed that. I also solved the crossword much more quickly when I was doing it before the video. So on a puzzle like this, I can almost guarantee I would have just, breezed through it and filled in all the answers and then thought, great, it's a fun puzzle, I did it. And that would have been that. But fortunately, now that I understand the pattern around which puzzles are themed, or the daily pattern, I can see that I needed to be looking for something. And we have a word ladder leading from Ina to Ida to Ada to Anna to Ava to Eva to Eve. Very clever. So we got from Ina to Eve. So there was, I was thinking there's something about these that's kind of resonating with one another, but I just can't place it. And that was why. Very good. Very nice, subtle theme. Really enjoyed that. And I don't think there was, I'm just double checking, but I don't think there was a revealer. Yeah. So it really was a subtle theme, but it was a nice one. So very well done. Very sort of expertly done in a completely seamless way by Ross Trudeau and Winaloo. So thanks to them. I unfortunately do not have time for yesterday's clues today, so apologies for that. But I will be back tomorrow for the Wednesday crossword. Maybe just a little bit of a step up in difficulty. We'll have to see. You can find out if you join me. I hope you do. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.